back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2014 North American Challenger Series, and like the man said during the break, we look good. And of course, so do Skyline. It's time for Game 2 in this quarterfinal battle between Skyline and Cloud9 Tempest. With one more win, Golden Glue and Skyline will pull off a huge upset, taking out the top-seeded C9T and advancing to the semifinals.
Got to say, Golden Glue definitely stepped up in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, he really dominated that mid lane with Akali. Yeah. And he beat up Bishu, basically. He went 9-2 and 6 by the end of the game, but it was really the early CS leads. He was the only one on his team that had the early CS lead.
Yeah.
And he was able to do a lot with it. Fed Akali, if you have really good engage, they were able to, capitalize on it.
Yeah, and just think about how that game started, right? 4 mid lane bans, 3 of them from C9T targeted at him. Then the first pick, Gragas, to steal another champion away, still dunks lane with champion number 5 in his pool. And that's just, I love that. It's so impressive.
And he got, a couple of drive-bys from NK Inc., but it's not like he was camped by NK Inc.
It wasn't odd one style.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't get a whole bunch of, a whole lot out of that. So it was really hats off to Golden Glue. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we have to say Impactful did, lose that lane in the lane phase, but it was because he went for the team-oriented pick in Sivir, and it really showed why in the late game when they turned on the Zerg mode and they finally got the engage that they wanted at really the crucial time, because Cloud9 were just about to get another set of turrets, and that extra gold could have pushed them through. But man, the hard engage worked out so well. They got an ace for it, and that was the story there for SKL.
And I just like teams that do that, where they're like, okay, we're going to sacrifice lanes but find something else. Like, I just feel like so many teams will pick, okay, here's a lane matchup that's pretty good. There's, a bit of variance here and there, but it's like, we'll lose this one. That's fine. We'll blind pick our entire bottom lane because we know we'll transition later. Found the fight they needed, turned the game around. I love that kind of strategic play. I want to see if Skyline has more in that pool, or if, like, that was their one trick and they've got to, like, slug it out sort of normal style for the rest of it. But it was such an interesting mismatch.
Yeah, you really have to have confidence in your team, because you'll get frustrated when you're losing your lane phase like that.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing to be like, okay, we'll lose the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we have confidence that we're going to destroy them with the hard engage.
Yeah, down 6 kills, down like 3 turrets at one point. I think it was 3-1 at one point in that game, and just like, yeah, well, Akali, please, please kill people in that fight, and finding the one there. And of course now the sides change as well, so you've got, even if you wanted to try to deny mid lane picks, you've got even less opportunity now from Cloud9 Tempest, because Skyline gets first pick. That they can deny at most 3 champions. Number 4 is going to go in there. I feel like Akali ban actually shows up and they drop something else. But I feel like you still drop the Kha'Zix because it's the same type of champion. You drop the Akali and say screw it. I feel like Kale is still there and you give away Gragas. Like, that would be me if I'm Cloud9 Tempest.
Kale is a very dangerous champion to give away. I wonder, there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle, actually, that they could take out. Like, Shen.
Yeah.
Could take out Shen, too. Or just pick something else in the top lane. Like, there's still so much to work with here.
Yeah,
since
if you win
they're spending
the top
all
lane,
the bans on mid lane, like, you've got all the options everywhere else.
That's a good point. Okay, we'll see where they go with this one.
Know.
Ziggs dropped away from Bishu. Same choice we had before. Kassadin banned away from Golden Glue. I think that's still a champion you do want to get rid of if you know they can play it. Gleb's Thresh still gone. He took Annie last time. It didn't mean enough for them. We got 3 more bans to go in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
there we go.
When he was on Annie, yeah, there's the Akali ban. He definitely, after they got destroyed in that one fight, he was like, okay, guys, yeah, we need to focus this Akali. Got my pink ward, got my upgraded sweeper, we're good to go. But still, since the team kept spreading out, Akali had multiple targets to jump to that were enabling her to dodge more damage, as well as take out all the carries.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting little dynamic there.
Well, it looks like actually it's going to be Skyline actually banning away the Kale in this one. So that makes me want to think Zed, just because he plays Kale himself, and I'd be surprised if you ban your own champion. So I feel like they're banning a counter pick there. There's the Kha'Zix banned out as well. So 5 mid laners gone. First pick at least going to come through here for NK Inc. He's going to like this one. And we'll see where Cloud9 Tempest goes.
Yeah, both of these games he's gotten one of the top 2 junglers. I mean, Vi still is available though, so now it's up to Cloud9. Are they going to want to pick that one up? If they do the same thing, Leona Vi lock in, like, there's the same exact engage.
No Akali to clean up, but still something else here. And already Skyline, definitely a new strategy. I feel like Vi was kind of integral to that whole lineup. Elise is not going to pull out the same kind of moves.
Yeah, SKL?
Yeah, Skyline definitely going to run something different, so we'll see what else is in this sort of strat pool of theirs, not just champion pool, but strategic pool. Leona still the hover. I like that pick, actually. I think it's a strong choice overall.
You know something about NK? If he is taking this Elise into the jungle, NK, when he was on Velocity, one of the strategies that actually got them into the LCS was his jungle Ezreal.
Right.
Jungle Ezreal that would come shove early turrets. Elise, also range, also very good at shoving early turrets. He could take the jungle Elise, come take some early turrets, and knock down some global gold that way, because Elise, like, she's almost even better than Ezreal at taking down the turrets, because in human form, she can harass you under turret, get you low enough, and then when you leave, she'll go into spider form and get the attack speed buff to take it down really fast.
Yeah, and the Spiderlings will take turret shots, a whole bunch of fun stuff there. So it is going to be the Leona lock-in here for Cloud9 Tempest, the Gragas. Again, for Bijou, they're putting the trust in that one, saying with Akali gone, you'll feel better here. Skyline, meanwhile, going for some similar looks and some different looks. The Lulu support coming in now as well for Evaniscus. Does play her a lot on live, but Impactful still maybe liking the Sivir here.
So Lulu is one that can actually shove in Leona pretty good. You know,
yeah.
Glitterlance starting out, it's one of Lulu's biggest pros there, to having that support. And that with a Sivir, both of them have really good wave clear. She can either start Ricochet or Boomerang Blade. A lot of them will just start Ricochet. Ricochet plus Glitterlance, just obliterate the first wave, and then try and keep your opponent shoved up so that they won't take advantage of your lack of range.
And that might work really well for these guys. Cloud9 Tempest, actually, they see the picks and say, okay, we'll grab the Vi happily, so a pretty similar diving ability team, but Lucian picked up now as a different AD carry to beat up on Sivir. I still think it's a good lane for Lucian, but a different way of fighting for this guy.
It's definitely a kill lane here. Leona Lucian, hard, fast kill lane. They're definitely going to be looking for those opportunities, and especially if you have a jungler like Vi, she can easily answer Elise. So that'll be a really interesting matchup down there at bottom. But we did see the Gragas and Vi combo for TSM. Man, they crushed Hotshot in the mid lane. So if they try and do that and actually get Bijou ahead this time, then maybe we get to see how the game will turn out when Bijou gets to be the one sort of orchestrating where the game goes, instead of Golden Glue making his roam with Kali.
Well, let's see what Golden Glue goes for here. Does lock in Katarina and Renekton, so still the reset-focused mid laner. You didn't ban them all. Akali and Kaz are gone. Katarina's still here, and now with the blind pick Renekton, Cloud9 Tempest waiting for their top lane counter pick. They're going to get it here, and they're looking at Shyvana to try to hold on against Renekton and make it to late game.
Interesting, because I thought the Shen, like, held up pretty well in CS versus the Renekton, and then was also able to offer shields for the rest of his team. So it seemed like a good answer to the Renekton. With Shyvana having a little bit less damage this patch, still she's able to sort of handle the early, like, nobody can actually handle the early Renekton, but she could sort of handle it.
Yeah. Jesse held up pretty well, like -3 CS made at a landing phase. Like, that's good. Like, that's a good score. If you're like, oh, I'm not losing hard. Oh, good job. You totally won lane.
Yeah, Katarina, though, anytime you have a Katarina composition, gotta watch out for your squishies. So Altec, once again, is going to have to be watching his backside here, because they don't want to give him any sort of resets.
No. You know, there's actually a team I saw with Katarina that I really liked back in the middle of, I want to say, Season 2. TSM would run Leona Darius Katarina and would just, like, hard engage fights, and someone would get a reset and carry it, and it was really fun to watch. Not the case here, but still kind of interesting. That is going to be the Shyvana picked up here for Cloud9 Tempest. You see the lineups on your screen. Kobe, what speaks to you?
Again, I'm going to be looking for the early movements from Vi. Where's he going to spend those ultimates? Because if he can get Bijou a good foothold in his lane, then Gragas, he can be the one in control and start roaming around.
You got to figure Bijou, you'd think he'd like this matchup here. Both times first, like, early pick the Gragas, first rotation for Cloud9, both games. Both times, of course, the counter pick potentially for Golden Glue. First time it worked. Akali won the lane, won team fights, all kinds of fun stuff. Katarina, I want to see if he has similar success. We just don't see her very much. The only cat we've seen was Skara's, and they lost.
She's not a lane bully, that's for sure.
Yeah, no.
If she's going to get the early lead this time, it's got to be from the jungle, or else something is really wrong in that matchup.
Well, maybe it's going to be NK Inc. making it happen. He is Elise, after all, the most sought-after jungler in the competitive scene right now. We're seeing him move on across their lanes. Let's see what they do with this one.
So this time around, the Leona does have a Targon here. So Glebe, when he's going for Leona, he is looking for that early shove, and they do want to play that Lucian lane as the kill lane.
Well, we'll see if they can find it. These guys are fanning out early on. And Sivir, once again, actually, it's Bishu and Impactful doing the recall spam in the middle of the lane. It's actually the same champions last time, too, so this is a very familiar dance for these two.
I like the sending your AD carry to go do it, just because then they're not quite sure where your solo lane is.
That's
and
true.
You could pull a tricky little switch there, but even if you're not going to do it, then I still kind of like throwing the AD carry there instead.
I like it. 10 warding totems also, the initial opening. We definitely see mostly yellow trinkets for these guys. There was a team, it was a Korean team, I forget which one, opened, I want to say 3 or 4 sweeping lenses at level 1. I just remember hearing about it. I didn't see the game, but I thought it was a really interesting choice. It's a really useless anecdote. I was like, this happened once. It's like, thanks, freak.
You know, it would be a useful anecdote if you had seen someone by the orb. If someone starts a blue trinket, then you can let me know.
Okay.
Please, because I want to.
Tell you
I
what.
really want that to be a thing.
Here's what I'm going to do. Every game I play on live, I'm going to buy a blue trinket and then undo and buy a yellow one.
Okay.
And so every game I'll have bought a blue trinket.
I mean, it's the blue trinket. It's actually a good comeback tool because then you don't have to face check stuff when your team is down and you have to get some vision on Baron. You don't have to walk over to the wall where a lot of teams will catch you. So it is, the idea is good. It just needs a little buff.
Evanisca's taking some damage. It's all right. Pix helps a little bit.
And there it is, the Glitter Lance and Ricochet shove.
Let's see who gets the minions first there. Looks like the melees are starting to be available here for Glebe. He's going to find one. But the shove already way faster here for Skyline. They're trading with the minions pretty quickly, but Impactful missing like all those minions. He got the melees at least.
The shove almost worth, I guess.
At least it's end of the turret. We'll see if they miss any. Looks like 5 CS. It's all 6 CS. The shove didn't do anything except get the experience first.
Something else is you have to be careful about using both your Targon charges early because you want to save them for the cannon minion. You get so much more value out of the cannon minion being shared between both people. You actually need to be careful with those and probably only want to use it your last one if you're going to need that help. You really need the heal from it.
Yeah, I've actually been playing a lot with a Targon support recently, and you can actually get the first wave, both melees. It'll come up in time for the cannon. The second cannon you have to store for.
Yeah, okay, so you got to burn the first 2 melee creeps to get it back up in time. Okay.
Yeah. This time he should have it. The thing is, he did kill that wave a little bit late. Maybe he doesn't have the charges up, but should be over here. There it is. Yes! Orange Sphere. He's got the Targon shield up. Cannon's theirs.
All right, so the mini game here, can he get to the cannon without taking a whole bunch of harass? Looks like with it shoved up this far, you know, he may take a couple auto attacks, but oh, that's a good move. Scare him off of it. Wait for it to get low, and then he secures
Cash
the
money.
gold.
40 plus 45 gold. There you go. Targon's making the money happen. Now he's got to save it. He's got to save his charges now for the very next cannon.
The
It's in a minute and a half.
Junglers just passed each other, came opposite ways down the river here. They did not see because one came out as the other one is going in.
Okay, here we go. Turret's going to be pushed up against. I got to say, though, Skyline, for how rough their lane was before, another sort of blind-picked lane for the most part, and they're doing a lot better. They're not nearly losing as hard.
Well, you have to count the CS here from the Targon, and they're definitely making a lot of gold down there. Bishu gets stunned up and has to burn his flash early in the game.
Good play by Golden Glue, managing to block the body slam, forcing the flash away. Good early gank in here by NK Inc, and now that lane is very pressured. Kez likely to spend a lot of his time near mid to help counter gank that if something goes wrong.
Golden Glue has already had to use his potion, though. Like we said, Katarina, not the strongest of early lane phases.
Yeah, holding okay in minions. 18 to 22, not that horrible, all things considered. Shield on Impactful, not really sure why. It's fine, it's going to time out, not a big deal. This lane holding fairly close to equal. The top lane, actually, 25 to 20 is pretty close as well, to be completely fair. Small lead for Renekton, I guess to be expected somewhat. Yazuki more or less holding on.
Also, Jezzy up here he used his Trinket Ward a bit late. You know, saved it for the Tribush instead of putting it in the river like we've seen a whole lot. So he was protected from that double buff gank, and it only just ran out. Well,
good stuff by these guys. Yazuki starting to actually get some control, some agency over this lane. pushing it in towards Jesse's turret, giving him some space, but I feel like it's just going to be Renekton catching some farm here.
Yeah, by using his burnout there, he was able to shove the lane, but he missed a couple of those last hits. So he's doing his best to push up the lane at the cost of some gold.
All right. Okay, Ink lurking around. He knows there's no flash on Bishu for the next 3 minutes.
It's a ping out here, though. They suspect some fishy activity. And Kez might be the one being stalked.
Okay, Ink, what's he going to look for here? Does not land any stuns. Kez gets out pretty safely. They know no gank's going to happen now in the mid lane. Jesse going to take these minions. He's all right here. Can't quite last hit the casters yet, so he's got to... There we go. Okay, pretty clean right there. And now a 10 minion lead, actually. A 33% minion lead here in the top lane is actually pretty decent for Renekton.
Looks like Kez is going to try and farm very hard from his level 5 up to try and get 6 before he goes for that gank. Going to rely on the Assault and Battery to secure his target instead of wasting some more time here, because he's already spent a lot of time just walking around the map.
Yeah, and the ultis and ignites were also traded mid. NK Inc, wow, the damage. Stuns up Bishu. Not going to go for the ult. Ooh, good repel by NK Inc. That was close.
Yeah, Bishu tried to fake him out by just walking away for a little bit there before throwing the ult. But NK Inc.
Jump onto Impactful. Actually, spell shields the stun. Getting chased on by Altek, but gets a Whimsy. Does not land the Hex at a good time, though. Altek backing off and gets probably an advantageous damage trade.
Yeah, it was a nice Whimsy right there, turning him into a cupcake as soon as he dashed in. But with Impactful turning around, they were still able to come out ahead in the trade. And the Targons is really making the difference here as far as gold for that bottom lane.
Absolutely, and the Whiff Glitterlance definitely did not help that fight. What I meant to say instead of the Whimsy there. About 150 gold missed, or 150 damage missed out right there. Impactful, though, happy to sit in this lane and not freezing it here. Trying to get rid of the minions rather quickly and unlock that lane a bit more. Yasuki, Jezzy, they, again, traded ultimates a little while ago, but not much happening for these guys anyway.
So, if the game continues on the path that it's going right now, really the excitement will only come from that level 6 Vi gank, and then the potential for the first dragon. So, if Vi decides to gank either mid lane here and trying to secure something for Bishu to get him rolling like we talked about, or come in around the side there for the bottom lane, then he could make a play with Leona. So there's really 2 good options for him around the dragon, because both of those lanes have good CC to set up ganks.
Nice.
And that would be their move to go for an objective after a kill.
Okay, let's see what they do with this one then. Bottom lane just kind of chilling for now. Actually, the first recall did come in Impactful with the BF sword. Very happy for him. And both these bottom lanes have traded their recalls onto this one. Yasuki still shoved around. Top laners still not yet looking for the movements around the map. These guys really just trading their gold. NK Inc grabbing his red buff as well. So we do wait for this dragon fight here. We do wait for what these guys are looking for.
Yeah, it's definitely in NK's hand, or in Kez's hands right now, because he's got his flash and his ultimate. So those are 2 big cooldowns that should be burning a hole in his pocket. As soon as you get those, you definitely feel like you need to use them. And there's not terrible ward coverage here. He could even go for a lane gank if he really needed to, since Leona does have her combo now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and Evanis is actually not 6 yet, so a bit of a level lead. The jungler, actually, Kez, is about half a level above NK Inc as well. Hit 7 first. NK still 1 camp away. If they time the dragon right, they've got a slightly stronger smite that might matter here. Pink ward coverage coming out as well. They're looking for this.
That's a very popular pink ward spot nowadays. See how long that one lasts. 2 pink wards down already for C9. One in that defensive position. I really like that ward, you know, up sort of by the bottom turret here, because it's going to last a very long time, because not that many people will roam there. But it will give this bottom lane the confidence that they aren't going to get any dive action soon. No roaming from Golden Glue behind the turret.
None yet, at least. Let's see where these guys end up moving with this one. Golden Glue, I actually kind of like teleporting Katarina. He's going Ignite for the better one-on-one, but I kind of think back to like the most recent IPL, I guess the last IPL, where Fnatic had a really good game over WE with a teleport Peke triple kill. And that was like just crazy. Like the turnaround from Katarina is just huge if you get a TP. But
yeah, I feel like TP's strong in a lot of cases, but it's more risky because if you don't get that TP kill or double kill or whatever to start it off, then you're not going to have the extra damage for finishing off your single target in team fights that Ignite brings, and you might not get that reset that you really need later.
Jesse in a really bad spot. Goes for the damage. Ignite on Yazuki might just be enough damage. Nope, last tick, not going to pick up Yazuki. Ooh, so close right there. Burned his flash and didn't get much for it, but it's going to be an attempt on Dragon, so worth it for Skyline.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse does a good job right there. He basically makes himself a martyr. He pushes all the way behind the turret, thereby drawing out the Vi ultimate that we talked up so heavily. With that down and with Kez up top, very good, easy call here from Skyline to go grab the Dragon. So they get the objective instead of first blood.
And Jesse cashes in his lane lead for a Sunfire Cape, though it's likely to be there. Wow, close one right there. Golden Glue does survive that one, but does drop low. Lucian ult gets rid of the minions bottom lane, so no turret pressure allowed. But Shyvana going to recall as well. So these top laners, they change their game plan around a little bit with Sunfire Capes done on both these guys.
Yeah, and this time around, without the sneaky Okali pick, that Cloud9 must not have expected there. Bishu's definitely doing fine in his lane. He's actually doing really well against Katarina, as expected.
Yeah.
Able to bully her around because, you know, her early phase not that bad.
Okay, so actually, despite the Dragon as well, Skyline behind in gold here. You talk about the Relic Shield a couple of times, and it's definitely an important factor here. It's a more invisible lane win, but certainly a lane win so far here for Cloud9 Tempest. Just now, Gold Pretend getting picked up there by Veniscus.
Well, you gotta think. It's not only is it the doubled CS of Leona, so there's 30 CS basically there, but most of those CS are the cannon minions that they've been focused. So those are worth a lot more than a lot of the you know, smaller minions. So that plus the Bishu CS lead is doing a lot for Cloud9.
And Yazuki now with a close score in minions, but a first blood 400 gold bonus. Really helping him out here. Kez looking for some help in the bottom lane. Not going to find too much here just yet, but this is starting to look a lot better for
If I was him, I'd definitely stick around here because his Assault and Battery is almost backed up. And even though Glebe doesn't have the Leona ultimate, he still has a lot of playmaking potential as they get shoved into turret.
We'll see what they can find with this one. Top lane is going to be the location of choice for Katarina. Does get pinged out, I believe, but looking for this top lane. I don't know how likely this is to succeed, though. They're against a very tanky Shyvana, and yeah, that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, ultimate's up, and since Katarina coming down the river here gets seen on the exit of his path, so Bishu aware that he was up top and trying to shove the lane as quickly as possible.
Ooh, nice attempt right there by NK. Doesn't find the CC, though, so Bishu pretty easy to rotate on this one. Golden Glue sweeping away some of the minions. Loses 0. Wow, nice.
So once again, Cloud9 with the nice start, but we'll still have to see the first team fight here from SKL, because last time when they got a good engage, they were able to snowball that into a huge lead and eventual victory. This time around, though, it's going to be a lot more difficult because they don't have guaranteed engage. They're going to have to rely on a landed cocoon. Besides that, there's not very much hard CC here. Without Renekton going super deep and making use of his melee stun.
We'll see if they can find something. They're not doing anything yet. Skyline actually a much slower game here, which is unfortunate for them because they're not winning the laning phase in the first place here. Bishu happy to keep farming, taking away Wraiths, having a good time, I guess his own Wraiths, but having a good time gaining gold right here. And the game being slow, I know it was kind of true last time, but really more so this time as well. Cloud9 Tempest happy to play a slower game. Continue to accrue an advantage. Leona getting caught up. Several ulti pop. There's the re-engage coming through. Spell Shield's going to block the ulti, but here comes Kez. Knockout from Evidence is onto himself, but the Lucian is there to deal some damage. Now Ken, Skyline, throws one around. Kez very low, running away. Ignite is on. Kill picked up. Reset for Katarina. Altec not in a good spot. Stun on a Golden Glue. Ricochet, I believe, is going to be available soon, but doesn't find much else to do. Q doesn't do much. This turret, though, very low.
3 members here in the area to try and defend, but you're right, it's only a couple of hits on the turret, so probably going to go down. Oh, Bishu waiting on the pink ward.
Bishu gets jumped on, and there's the reset. Golden Glue finding one. Deep Larva jumped on now as well, and the spin comes across, doing a lot of damage from Katarina. Bishu now not a lot of places to go, does not have flash, will body slam the wall, doesn't get stunned in time. Cloud9 Tempest loses another kill and the turret, and Jesse rotated mid.
So we talked about how they are lacking, you know, a lot of hard CC, but that was all basically catching Glebe Garbu out and then slowly members of Cloud9 trickling in. they didn't have to make use of the hard CC, and they were able to just pull chase with some Katarina resets.
Well played by these guys. Impactful, tanking a little bit of this mid turret. They're going to trade these, actually, but the top lane turret did get solo pushed by Yazuki. So 2-1 now, but the mid lane turret, the hardest one to kill, has been grabbed. However, no one's stopping Shyvana. She's down to tier 2 so far.
She's still doing some pretty good work on that turret. You're right. Nobody's even getting really close, and it's so early in the game. People don't even have level 1 boots, some of them, much less home guards. So that's not going to be something Yuzuki has to worry about very quickly here. And he can take not only another wave behind that turret, but even go into the jungle here and start some counter jungle action.
Okay, so a lot of gold kind of just draining out of Skyline's pockets right here, trying to get this top lane in a little bit of a better spot. But I gotta say, a lot of good stuff by Yazuki to set this all up. Golden Glue still sweeping away mid. Has accrued a bit of a CS deficit, but has done a much better job in fights.
Yeah, after that last set of fights down there, it's enabled him to pick up that needlessly large rod. So it's a huge boost for him. He's got the dual penetration build here with both the Sork boots and the Haunting Guys backed up by some AP now. So he's definitely packing a punch. Only problem for him is that there's a lot of CC answers on Cloud9. This team, pretty much everybody here, except for Lucian, is going to be able to stop him.
Death is the best CC. They've all got the opportunity to move the
there you go.
ult. There you go. There you go. And I'm actually curious what item Golden Glue goes for. Death Cap, Deathfire Grasp,
wow,
or
they're starting up the
Zonia's.
Dragon, though.
Okay, Dragon is getting started. All 5 here. Picked up! Nice steal right there. And the fight has begun. Knock up there from Lulu. Will the damage come across enough in time? Kez is going to go down. Yazuki around. Golden Glue stays alive. Bijou doesn't find the damage. He missed the ultimate. And now the re-engage is here. Again, 5 versus 4. The chase onto Altec. Can he go down? Yes, Jezzy finds that. Now Glebe, Yazuki, and Bijou all running away. Jezzy zoning out 1. NK chasing the rest. Does not find the jump over the wall. No, there's the repel. Does he have the damage? Yes, he does. Impactful finds it. 5-2 for the Dragon.
And SKL, Skyline are able to use the Dragon Pit actually to their advantage. Usually, being trapped in the Dragon Pit against a Gragas is a terrible thing because he can AoE you, but the barrel just barely missing Golden Glue there, the outside radius just a little bit bigger, and he was able to channel his ultimate on both Vi and Shyvana there, forcing them to actually run out, while Jezz was able to screen the back line and disallow the damage from joining the fight. Just very well played by Skyline right here around that Dragon Pit, even though it was stolen away by Kez.
And I like the timing by Skyline here. Every single fight we've seen around the 18-minute mark, these mid-game team fights, the AD carries have a rough time against the top laners. We saw that when Impactful had to run away from Yazuki in Saber versus Shyvana, and also here with Altec running away from Jezzy's Renekton having a bad time there as well. The difference being that Impactful presses R and helps his entire team, and then it says, screw it, I'm going to kite, which works a lot better. If neither AD carry is going to do much damage, well, one brings more utility.
Well, Altec tried to press R and run away, but the flash from Jezzy actually got behind his culling there at the end and cut him down from the back.
Pretty good play. So Spirit Visage, the next item it looks like from Jezzy, still scaling up as a scary Renekton man. Evaniscus in a bad spot, ulted around. That is a very likely, oh my god, the flash. Will Evaniscus even live through this? You're kidding me. Wow, Evaniscus changing his ways from the LCS, not dying nearly as much this time around.
That's 2 really big ultis down for Cloud9, but he ended up burning his Lulu ult at the end there too, and now they're shoving onto this turret, but a collapse from Skyline.
Okay, they're going to join this fight before the turret goes down. Yazuki down to about 2/3. Kez joining the battle. Golden Glue kind of towards the back line, but Renekton in this battle. These guys trading blows a lot right here. Impactful pops the ulti. His team is going to chase down. Kez flashes away. Where's the Jace going to go? NK looking for the kill onto Vi. Jezzy getting jumped on though. He is going to go down 1 for 1, but the reset is here for Katarina. Can they chase? Can they find more damage? Does not land a cocoon though. That might slow down Skyline. Just the 1 for 1 trade.
Jezzy has repeatedly put himself on the front line so that the rest of his team can focus on protecting the back there, and he keeps going down for it, but it's definitely a good play by him, and it's definitely worth it. He's been able to buy his team time over and over again, but the last kill barely putting Cloud9 back up in here.
Yeah,
100 gold.
100 gold. This game is very, 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 very close. Gotta say it's a pretty impressive one overall. And one thing I do want to point out is Impactful having a very different game from last time. So very first game he was like pure support, 1-1 and 9 to start the game out. just like letting Akali pick up all the kills. This time around, this Sivir is a much bigger threat relatively in team fights. 3-0 and 2. I mean, especially getting less pooped on in lane being a part of that. Less pooped on is my G-rated version of that one. But overall, like having a much better time. Katarina, she's actually, you know, having a bit of a hard time killing the frontliners herself.
So a lot of that I have to give credit to the support change there. Picking up Lulu instead enabled them to start that combo of Glitter Lance Ricochet that we talked about. And from then on, you know, they really got off on the right foot and were able to have a much better hold on the bottom lane than before.
So 2 items completed for the Skyline AD carry. Looks like it is going to be Zhonya's Hourglass here for Golden Glue. That's going to be his needlessly large rod item of choice. I have seen DFG. You get the first kill really fast. But going a bit more defensive, relying on his team a bit more here. NK Inc. 003 on Elise has made some things happen in this early game. Sweeping trinkets coming around, also helping Cloud9 Tempest remove some wards. And now we've got a bit of a lull here. Once again, Skyline not a good siege team, and they're waiting for objectives.
Yeah, that's pretty funny that you point out 2 ways you can go with needlessly large rod on Katarina. The first one, as you pointed out, going for the Zhonyas, you just use Zhonyas and wait for your team to get you the reset after you jump in. Or you go Deathfire and you get that reset yourself by amplifying your damage. It looks like he is going more for the wait for my team to do a little something and I'll come out of my Zhonyas with the reset. But you're right, again, short range here because they've decided once again to go with Sivir. And Sivir's strength is in her mobility and movements around the map, able to catch those team fights when they find good opportunities rather than sieging up. So they're not really the ones to start those 5 vs 5 sieges. They're always sort of trying to defend them, whereas Cloud9 could be looking for a dive because they have so much hard engage.
5 vs 4. Cloud9 is happy to take this mid lane turret down. Katarina still on the split push bottom and gets nothing for it. So turret goes down in the mid lane. For all the sort of praises I'm singing of Skyline, you got to remember C9T, they're actually winning in gold right now. 2-2 in turrets. They've got a couple of dragons in their name, and they're up about 800 gold, almost 1,000 gold right here. But it just
so
still
many
looks...
pink wards for them to clear out.
Oh, man.
It's almost too many auto attacks to spare time for.
Dragon's up in 10 seconds right here. Pink ward is there. C9T happy to clear that one away. Jesse forced back, and it looks like Skyline actually right now split up with 3 seconds. Cat's on the wrong side of this fight. Which way are they going to go?
They should swing down to the bottom and come up from where Renekton is because they actually have better vision from that side. Whereas this top side, they could easily get engaged on. Remember, Cloud9, you have to keep your eyes out for not only the Leona Solar Flare, but also Vi's engage and Bishu's ulti. If Bishu can split this team up, then it should be a much easier time for Cloud9.
Well, Skyline looking for this one. Actually, Bishu is separated from the team. They all back up because of this one. Some damage coming across. Pink ward getting swept away. Skyline are standing on a ward and have no way of killing this one right now. So Cloud9 Tempest knows about this. Renekton hiding off on the side, and they ping the mid lane turret. Someone's going to shove this.
It's starting to push in Skyline's favor, but it's going really slow.
Definitely slowly. Some poke coming across from these guys. Aggroing the dragon again, and Jesse just goes in for this one. Impactful looking for the fight. Sever's going to actually block away the ulti, and here comes the battle. Jesse just in the back line, taking up all the damage. They're trading back. Kez goes down. Yatsuki in the back line. 1-for-1, 2-for-1 so far. Good fight for Cloud9 Tempest, pushing everyone back. Impactful. Good fight for Evanescence, but still not in a great spot. Looks like that was just a huge fight for Cloud9 Tempest, still forcing the back line away. Impactful still trying to run. Will make it out, but now control is here for C9T.
So this time around, Cloud9 were actually able to melt the tank faster than Skyline were. You know, Jesse, like we said, he keeps on trying to get to the back line and screen out all the damage of Cloud9. They actually took him out so quick this time that there was only time here for Skyline to grab one.
All right, so very impressive stuff so far with these guys. A fairly close game overall, and it just seems like the strategic power a little bit weaker this time around from Skyline. We are, by the way, in a paused game right there, which is why you're seeing us and not the players and their champions, but
sorry about
we're getting into that soon.
Yeah, so this time around, they don't have the hard engage that they had last time,
No.
and they also don't have the Akali that had a super good laning phase, which is always something that's amazing to have on your team.
Yeah, and with a really defensive sort of like Katarina build, she's having a pretty hard time killing off Kez and Yazuki. The prior Dragon fight, right, Katarina in the back line, got a pretty much a full spin, Kez dropped, and then they got to kind of push forward and clean up, and Skyline had a really good time here. This one, Jesse died before any of the frontliners from Cloud9 Tempest did. Katarina's kind of sat there spinning, but like really not hitting that hard overall.
Yeah, they need to build more for tank melting because they have to work through two real strong tanks with the Vi and the Shyvana that keep on jumping back there. Whereas we only have Renekton for Skyline, who's trying to do the same thing, and it's not working out quite so well for him because he does fall off in tankiness towards the late game compared to those other champions that get the resistances as opposed to fat health.
Yeah, and so we're seeing these guys kind of continue to move forward. Of course, the AD carries just started to build, get farther along in their build. So we had Bloodthirster Phantom Dancer already done for Impactful. Last Whisper's next up, but doesn't have it yet. So
that'll help.
Yeah, it'll help, but he can't yet get rid of Kez and Yazuki. Meanwhile, Trinity Force was very close to done here. So a similar situation where Last Whisper's coming up soon by the AD carry, by Altec here on Cloud9 Tempest. But the power hasn't swung to the AD carries yet. Tanks are still very beefy, very hard to get rid of, unless you're alone like Jesse, in which case you just get 3v1 to go down.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if they actually switch their strategy, because right now, same strategy for both teams. Front lines, dive the back line, see who kills the tanks first.
Yeah.
The first team that switches to try and peel for my back line might see some more success. The only thing is you can't peel Vi because she gets a guarantee.
She will get there, so 100% of the time.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult. We are back into the game, though, guys. The Dragon, of course, did go Cloud9 Tempest's way. 2,500 gold now puts them ahead. Great fight by these guys. Yazuki got the turret gold. That was good. Didn't leave too soon. Impactful getting top lane. These guys trading objectives. We're just here 3 turrets to 3. A very close game, but something that Cloud9 Tempest has been controlling.
Seems to be towards the end game, whichever team is in control of better CC are the ones that are able to make the easier plays. So if it stays true here, Cloud9, with their early lead here, should be able to dictate the next objective fight, which will be either around Baron or they're going to have to wait for another Dragon to come up.
Well, it's going to be a good 5 minutes away. Right now, just a holding pattern for Skyline, and such less threat in the last game right here. Definitely the power in different hands right here until Katarina really activates. Just not that big of a threat overall. The Last Whisper nearly done for Impactful. Should be in a bit of a better spot. Bishu is still doing pretty well as well. Actually won his lane this time. 205 minions. Pretty good impact in team fights. I've been a death cap being really big for him. Like, I don't know, man. The power is in the right places, I feel like, on Cloud9 right now. And Skyline have some catching up to do, like, even still.
Yeah, it does look pretty good for Cloud9 right now. But we have seen Skyline come back already. Now they're trying to head off this split-pushing Shyvana. See if there'll be some interesting antics down there. She does have one jump available to her, but Shyvana, I don't know. We'll have to see if she can get out of this one. She's deep in enemy territory.
She's singed.
Tune in and find out next on the North American Challenger League.
Yeah, again, guys, sorry for a quick pause right there. It's funny, actually, because Shyvana is kind of Singed-esque. When you think about it, right? Pops the ulti, bonus armor and MR, bonus move speed with her burnout on, and then also leaves behind a nice trail of fire. She basically...
That tells you where she's going, or where she went.
Yeah, but basically becomes Singed. And as you know, in League of Legends, you do not chase Singed. It's a bad idea. It won't go well for you. And I've seen a lot of crazy things happen from these harebrained chases where you run around catching a top laner and the theme plays in the background as you're trying to catch up to him, and then your team does something else. Jesse did that with the Dragon earlier on, right? Dove super hard as connected top lane, forced the jungler up there on a really, obvious dive, but still did it. Got a Dragon for it. I think there's nothing up for Cloud9 Tempest to do, so Shyvana's just kind of like alone pushing.
Yeah, that's the thing. When we talk about split pushing, you have to have not only the split pusher, but also the rest of your team showing on the map, at least getting something else accomplished, or else there's no pressure there. Because they'll obviously go after your single person if the rest of your team is not doing anything, not showing, not creating any pressure.
Exactly. Dragon actually dead. Baron, pretty hard for these guys to do, though I guess they could if they had time in the ward control. And all the outer turrets are gone. So there's not a lot for Cloud9 Tempest to look for without getting the minions pushed up, getting their team in position, and then starting it. And as the team with the lead and a team that actually can siege with Gragas and Lucian, I feel like that's the next play here for Cloud9 Tempest, that they should be able to play the Siege game and be much less afraid of Skyline's dive.
Yeah, there's not really a reason for them to have a split-pushing Shyvana that doesn't have any sort of teleport or anything. They can group up right now because they're ahead. Make use of the Gragas ultimate, knock people away. Lucian culling under turrets is a really great tool. We'll have to see if they can actually get into range.
So here we go, guys. 26 minutes in. Shyvana on the way around the map. Gets between the turrets, taking only one shot.
Here we go.
I
The
don't think
hunt
he's gonna
has
get
started.
caught. I think he's fine. They let him go.
Oh, that was unexciting.
Woo! What an escape, Shyvana. Flap your wings and out you go.
She took like one tower hit.
Yeah, there are no Dovahkiin in
about
this
it.
game. Oh, well.
It does look like they are going to group up for the Siege, though. Here we go. So Gragas blue buff. This is perfect. He can keep on throwing the barrels under turret, and they can even set. Oh, they're going to set up a bush gank here. That's mean.
NK Ink's going to say, hey, I saw you guys burrow in there. No Zergan by you guys. Cloud9 Tempest, though, just turn that into a top lane push. Bijou sweeps out the minions, and I think Skyline gets here just in time, but with a giant minion wave, they might rush this down. Jezzy wants this battle. Look at this. Just goes for the minions and doesn't really get punished for it.
So what you have to rely on when you only have, cocoons as your hard CC is flanking to start the engage if you want to go for it. And Jezzy right there already went the path that he would have. If the rest of his team was there, that could have been an engage. But nobody in position means they're just clearing out waves. And we're fighting in this jungle territory where they have limited vision.
Here comes the dive. Great open by Bijou. Impactful in a horrible spot right here. Trying to run away. Jumped on by Yazuki and is going to go down. That's one kill picked up overall. Let's see the rest of this one. Katarina, what can you do with this one? Run away is pretty much all you've got. Jezzy getting jumped on very low on health. Another kill picked up by Bijou. 2 for 0. Make that 3 for 0. Cloud9 Temp is really dropping down Skyline right here. These guys are still running away. Can the rest of the members survive? Because their turrets sure aren't going to.
Well, Bijou definitely helped out the tank line with that dive there, landing his combo onto Impactful and just obliterating him. So when they can get down that AD carry, it's a real easy team fight to follow up. Now that they are 5 versus 2, they can roam over to the Baron. Even though it's Elise, there's always the possibility of a steal. There's so much CC here that they could just murder him as soon as he shows up.
And Bijou has his ulti up in about 12 seconds right here. We'll see if he can knock back the Elise, make this happen. Down to half HP, Katarina is around right here. Bijou, yep, he looks for Elise. Kez is low, does have Smite available. He's done a very good job of smiting.
Flash, and he has a Smite.
There's the repel, goes into the air. They stop hitting Baron, picks it up. Nice job right there. Golden Glue likely to go down,
and
does fall. Oh, but Kez loses the Smite. NK getting out of the Baron pit and doesn't even get and he gets a kill on top of it! Are you serious? Yes, he does! NK Inc. I wasn't sure Elise had that much damage, but does right there. But there's Lucian. That's going to be a kill. So only 3 Baron buffs left, but that was freaking impressive.
All right, we're back, right back in this one here. Skyline, not only do they pick up Baron, and he trades 1 kill there, but Jezzy has wasted no time shoving up the mid, so they get another objective in their pockets.
A bunch of minions for the bottom lane, but that's not going to turn into much right here. That's fine. They got at least something out of this one. Very nice turn of events here for Skyline, bringing the game back in. Still 2,500 gold, but whew, man, they dodged a bullet with that one.
NK there. Flash is available, goes right in.
Yeah.
Beautiful steal. I mean, we've seen so many that I'm starting to really question going for Baron at all, even if for the winning teams.
And the thing is, Kez has gotten most of the Smite steals, I think. Like, we had a very early dragon fight in this game where Kez just dove in and took it off screen. Vi. Yeah. Again, against Elise, right, the invading team trying to take it, you figure like, all right, well, Kez been fighting well this game, keep it up. And then, man, very impressive play here by NK Inc. And now the game is a little bit reset. You got a Leandri's Elise. You talk about killing front lines. You got a mage right there for the jungler, burning out the health. And I'm waiting to see actually what Golden Glue goes for, because that could be Leandri's, it could be Void Staff, it could be even DFG.
So I like the early Leandri's from NK Inc. here because he's got a mid laner who does not need blue buff. So he'll be getting blue buffs, and he can continually spam out the AoE damage spiders as well as targeted human form Qs to get the early burn down on members of C9. So it's a pretty good build there, especially since they're working with Katarina. You just get everybody softened up, and then she can finish him off and go for the chain resets.
Yeah, Katarina's got her Void Staff now, so that whole frontline killing thing just turned around. No Aegis here. No, there is actually. I take it back. Glebe Glarbu has got a Locket, so the AoE is going to be a bit weaker this time around. Oh. Come on, Bishu. There we go. Picks it up. Blue buff on that dragon.
Okay, so Elise won't get his own blue buff, but they're looking to trade here. 2 versus 2 in that situation, and Sivir is actually on the wrong side.
That's an easy pickup. Kez taking the blue as well with a smite, so Cloud9 Tempest loses Baron, but picks up both blues. That's going to be a nice little edge for them, but Skyline using the Baron to push with 1 minute left on it.
Consolation prize, get the blue buff after losing out the purple buff. Only member without purple buff will be NK though, so he won't have the regen that I was just hyping up. And it seems like it'll still be a hard game for any sort of siege for Skyline, because they still don't have much of a range. Like, even if they get up to the turret, it'll probably be even NK with a greater probability of landing auto attacks onto the turret than Sivir.
Yeah, Skyline right now also not sweeping away minions very well either. The Baron buff team doesn't find anywhere to push, finally now getting rid of minions around the map, but these guys are content to play it pretty slow, it seems, because they're really not trying to rush anything down.
Meanwhile, Golden Glue cannot take on the white.
He just Zonia's for something. His Zonia's is down, and no one was around him a while ago.
Yeah, he ran away from the white a while ago. He didn't have to use it on it, though. It's probably a fat finger. Maybe he wanted to take a picture down on the bottom side, Summoner's Rift.
I mean, his name is Golden Glue. You figure might as well turn himself golden. And yeah, screenshot, whatever. Turn in a trophy. See what happens. 2,000 gold still separating these teams. Got honestly a very close game, and it feels like these guys have really slowed it down because Skyline, like, they used their one crazy awesome strategy, then got kind of banned out a bit. And now they're like, okay, well, if their bag of tricks is really shallow, then like they really need this game here to try to close it out before they get figured out. Cloud9 Tempest, of course, need this game to stay alive. So these guys really risk-averse right here in a very important game, too. And so it's these last few minutes have been very reserved.
Shyvana just canceled a recall. Okay, so it looks like they are making the call to continue split push. Very interesting.
Shyvana's huge. 3 completed items. Very much above Jezzy right here.
Yeah, no attack item though. There's no Blade of the Ruin King there, so she's just a giant menace that wants to get in front of Impactful and keep Impactful's damage away from the rest of the team. Because usually Sivir's going to shred down your team like no other AD carry, very heavy AoE. But if Yuzuki can jump back there and get in his face, then he can basically focus all of Impactful's damage on himself and keep it away from the rest of his team.
I guess you could say it wouldn't be very impactful then. There we go. The team grouped up though. Shyvana scoring off against NK Inc. I like that choice actually. Skyline send their jungler as the best suited person to defend against that. Not a ton of MR on Yasuki there. That might be okay for this Elise. Level 16 to 17. Not too bad for these guys. And the rest of the 4v4 is here.
We're going to have to get Golden Freak statues for the pun awards.
Yes. I will take this from you, Crapo. Don't you dare try to outrun me. Only guy I see try to contest the throne. I won't allow it. Impactful blocking a bit of damage with the spell shield.
So the culling is up as well. You know, Gragas has everything available to him. Lucian Scott is calling up. They're not really making the push at this turret. They can push it pretty hard if they use both of those to clear out the wave while simultaneously doing some damage to this Skyline team. But they just have to pull the trigger here.
See if they go for it. They're not just yet, so just some more poke coming off on both sides, really. Feels like Cloud9's waiting for things to respawn on the map just to have control over them when it does come time for this one. These guys trading wards down there. Mid lane, a big wave ready to push, but NK Inc., and he's getting all the split push farm is the thing. NK is going to be a bigger and bigger threat throughout this game. He's getting top and mid lane farm as they come in.
So Elise is mostly single target damage. If he gets bigger and bigger... Whoa! Golden Glue gets caught!
Not good. Oh, the Zone is going to help him out a heck of a lot as the ultis get burned across. Kez and Glebe Glarbu, they're in the front line. Jesse going in hard. There's the spin. Gets most of it done right there. The battle's still coming across. Altec around. Evaniscus not in a good spot. Jesse also pretty bad right here. Yasuki joins the fight. A lot of numbers here for Cloud9 Tempest. They don't find much. Glebe Glarbu gets Cocoon, has to flash away. There's the damage coming across. Impactful. Finding able to shoot. Yasuki forced backwards. A lot of damage though, and the burnout's going to keep him alive. Wow, the trades and no one goes down.
Now, the Golden Glue getting caught out was almost a really good bait because he was able to Zhonya's in time before they chain the CC, but it was still only 3 members of Skyline. So Jezzy kind of made the call to aggress anyway, even though it was 3 versus 4, because they had the slight positional advantage. Without the extra damage there, though, they couldn't actually make anything happen, and it was a good disengage actually by both teams not taking losses there.
Well played on both sides. High-level fight and everything. Riley's Crystal Scepter done for NK Inc. He's got that synergy there with the Riley's Leandry. Some extra % health burn. Not a ton of magic pen, but a decent amount. Looks like Golden Glue is going Deathfire Grasp now. Has the Fiendish Codex, one of the key components of that item. And Infinity Edge. An item lead here done for Impactful. And, I just gotta say it, Altec gets a blue trinket!
Alright, this game is gonna go down in history here. Because Altec heard me. I'm gonna take credit for that one, yeah.
I just wanna say, if Cloud9 Tempest wins this game, we've got a 100% win record for blue trinket in televised LCS Challenger matches.
So, what this thing can do for them is they can check objectives from really far away. They can check all the bushes, so they don't have to worry about the sneaky Fnatic style bush camp that will get Skyline back in this. Since Skyline have to rely on picks, sort of, to get their kills without the hard engage, you know. So, I don't know. I kind of like it here.
I do too. I really do, because the only way Altec really dies here with this much awesome frontline appeal for him is if he gets caught out of nowhere. There we go. Jump onto NK, force a repel up, dodges the Leona ulti, and not much from the Gragas one. 2 ultis down for very little. Sivir burns hers, but doesn't find an engage here.
Jezzy always wants to fight. Even if the rest of the team is running away, he's running head on. Those ultimates spent that you just called out means immediate Baron. Oh my god, that percentage damage.
Look how fast it's going, and no one's even checking, because who would Baron at this point? Oh my gosh, picked up. Are you serious, Skyline? Picking up that, and the blue ticket was still on cooldown. Man, he wish he bought that earlier.
Great call. Yeah, exactly. You need the blue trinket. You need it faster than that.
Sooner.
Because you can't. That's exactly the situation that you want it when you can't. You have no vision in Baron, and you need to check it without getting too close to the wall, because the Skyline team can kill you over the wall. But again, we have to shout out the shot caller for Skyline. Not quite sure who it is. I think it might be NK, because he did a lot of the calls there for Velocity. But he was able to rein in Jezzy.
Uh-oh, the fight is starting because no one is around actually to defend that turret. And it's going to be everyone kind of backed away. Shyvana was actually still recalling from bottom. So Skyline getting control over this one. Still looking for sieges elsewhere. 5 turrets, by the way, down for these guys. They've gotten more control over the map. The only tier 2 turret left is the bottom lane, which might just be where they go.
They keep getting Barons, but they're behind at the point that they get Barons. So they're basically using the whole Baron both times just to get more gold lead back. So they get back to even, then start losing again, then get another Baron, use it to get back to even,
then lose another fight.
All right, so this time around, though, they should be able to get another turret. All the cooldowns are back up, though. So the hard engage from Cloud9, if they land their abilities, they can still turn this one around.
Let's see what they get. Kez actually with the Banshees. I'm a little bit surprised at that, because I don't know what he's trying to really block there, aside from just magic damage in general. Which I guess, you know, with Katarina is probably worth it right there. At Skyline.
Question mark?
Sorry?
The Cocoon?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's just a good MR item in general, right? Like, you don't have to just buy Banshees for the shield.
You're right. With the Spirit Visage nerf 10% CDR, you might even just default go over to a Banshee's Veil if your champion does not have inherent regen or healing or whatever to benefit from that passive.
Yeah, because it gives more actual combat stats. A little bit more health, a little bit more
Glitter
MR.
Lance, that's what he was blocking.
Yep, blocked the Glitter Lance. Pretty powerful there. Mikhail's Crucible, by the way, done for Skyline's support. These guys trading blows. Look how low this turret's getting. Cocoon lands on Kez.
And look at it. It's NK doing the turret damage. Like I said, because Sivir's auto attack is so short that they're relying on the Elise to get the turret damage.
And Jezzy going to happily tank the turret. They know this will go down in this fight. And so Cloud9 Tempest backs off. Not enough wave clear here. The push
big minion wave up top.
Ooh, and that's going to be forced Altec to go defend that one. Look at this dive coming in. Jezzy in the front line, taking the turret. The battle has begun. The spin coming across. A lot of damage coming in. Golden Glue's going to pop the Zonias. Yuzuki forced backwards, pops the shield. And Kez, look at the damage output, goes down. Impactful with huge damage there. Altec showing back up to defend the team. And Golden Glue now, overextension by Cleave Larva goes down to Impactful. Bishu now forced away. This is going to be an inhibitor turret going down. Skyline 2 for 0 so far.
And NK getting so fed by all that splitting that he was doing was actually really good because he could finish off the single target to get Golden Glue his reset.
Beautiful stuff right here. Golden Glue, though, forced away by a barrel. He's very injured. Yasuki holding the front line now, hexed away. And this is a low inhibitor, but these guys are taking damage on the way. Inhib goes down. Skyline, I don't know if they can stay for this.
Yeah, they don't want to stay for this. They got 2 Blinking Red members, and they're going to have to recall to the Dragon area as they ping down. So they successfully got their gold lead once again off of that Baron play, and they've got a nice open door into the base now. So won't be that much of a problem, even though they are lacking the range for sieging up.
Well, this is looking pretty good for these guys. 2,000 gold. Putting Skyline in a pretty good spot. Tempest, a little bit calmer than I think they would like from their name. Just kind of chilling, getting the wave clear still going, but haven't found any major openings in a while. Altec still grabbing gold on the split. When he gets Infinity Edge, he'll be a lot stronger right there, but the differences in AD carries is huge when one has an eye edge and one doesn't. It's just massive.
So the difference in AD carries is pretty big right now, but look at the difference in tanks. Like, it's a whole item extra here for Shyvana. She's got a whole Warmox up on Renekton, and Renekton is still doing his job.
Oh,
so
yeah, he is. He's 100 CS down even.
Exactly. The tank differential not really having the big impact because the AD carries, like you talked about, also have their little bit of discrepancy there.
And we'll see what this NK Inc. jungler can do. He's starting to build one more durability item that could be Banshees or Visage. At least does have some self-heal, but I can see it going either way, just to not get Gragas ultied.
He does have the lifesteal, but I think I like Banshees against this team because the Cloud9 team's got a lot of really good abilities to block. If you can block a Gragas, bro, that's a whole bunch of damage you're not taking. As well as, you know, Vi never really wants to ult Elise because Elise can outplay it with a well-timed repel. But even so, he'll definitely not be a target with Banshees.
Not at all. So, the minion's still getting killed on all sides. Bottom lane, of course, has the dead inhibitor. And Dragon's up in 14 seconds. Baron's up in a minute and a half. These could be objectives that Skyline waits for, or they might try to push in a little bit sooner when the bottom lane pushes into the base. We'll see what it ends up being. But I gotta point out that impactful is huge. Finished Banshees. Infinity Edge is now done for Altec, though. So these AD carries are similar damage, as Altec is more vulnerable to getting killed. The ulti does
no
not.
Stun.
Yeah.
We haven't really had a super crisp Leona ulti to start something off.
No, really not. So unfortunate for Glebe not finding these. Only level 15 for him. A little bit lower than everyone else in this game. These guys dodging around the CCs. Banshees does get popped from Impactful. He's got to be careful that he spell shields well now in this game. And the top turret is the area of focus there. Altec forced to the bottom lane to defend his Nexus turret.
Time for the dive.
And it's going to be the dive here. Yasuki jumping on the back line with Kez. What can Katarina do in this one? Looking for a damage. Finds Yasuki, forcing the flash away with Deathfire Grasp. The damage coming across the cat. She's going to zone his away from this one and stay alive. NK Inc. taking the turret down. Now Kez forced to run away. Still 5v5. But the damage coming across now from Gragas. Is he going to find enough? NK Inc. dropping low. No, the Katarina reset. Can she find any more? Finds one, goes down. A second coming up from Impactful. 2-1 in this fight. And the inhibitor likely to go down. But Yasuki and Kez rejoin the fight. NK Inc. forced to flash away. He's going to survive. Jesse now on the run. Yasuki, the giant tank. They do find the kill onto NK Inc. Jesse low as well. Will he stay alive? Looks like yes, and re-engages the fight. Now Kez getting slowed down. The damage from Sivir is gigantic, but they might trade front lines. Here comes Altec back into the fray. Gets slowed by Lulu in a 1v3 and forces them back. A 3-for-2, actually, plus inhibitor. Skyline getting that one.
And the 3-man Skyline squad does escape with their lives after that. 2 inhibitors down. Really well done job. At this point, Cloud9 are thinking we're a little bit desperate. Baron is up, though, so there's a little bit of counterplay. No smite available means it would be a really, really desperate counter Baron, though.
Would really be difficult, but we've seen crazy things happen in this game, to be fair.
We have. Okay, so the bottom inhibitor is not actually down.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be as desperate as I thought. They can still just defend here, wait for everyone to respawn, and go for another team fight. We saw in the last one, they definitely have all their eyes on Katarina right there, because not only did Bishu solo ulti Katarina, but they also then used the Assault and Battery right after on her. And she was able to Zanya's without any follow-up damage, so both those CCs, which are a big part of this team fight, used on her without any follow-up damage, and that meant that they were not able to secure her kill, losing again another objective.
Oh, very well played here by Skyline. That's going to be the Wraiths going down. They're kind of taking every objective they can, putting some wards down and sweeping some away from Baron. Looks like this might be the target of their attention. Dragon being ignored right now. That gold seemingly not worth it for these guys. And Cloud9 Tempest easily sweeping away the top lane minions.
Remember how quick they killed Baron last time? They can do the exact same thing here. At least that's entries and ridiculous percentage damage.
Baron does go down. Jesse holding up the front line, getting Lulu ulted. Gigantic health pool there. Stun on Evanescence, but no one cares about that. Hit up a little bit by Gragas. The fight has begun. Jesse still holding the front line. There is Sivir putting out so much damage. One's going to go down. Katarina getting the reset. It's going to be Azonia's onto Bijou, trading 1-for-1, 2-for-1 now. Big lead there for Skyline. Yuzuki got nowhere to go. Altec versus Ed's going to be the kill for Altec, actually. 2-for-2 in this fight. Guardian Angel from Yazuki, but it's Bijou going down. He went back in that fight a little bit too early. Yazuki running away for now, but it's still a 5 versus 2 on the map. This is so much room for Skyline to kind of push in and get more out of this game. Can they get anything else? Yeah,
this should be a Nexus for them. I don't know if Bijou recognized Impactful there. That's because he had a giant fairy on him. He walked a little too close.
Well, here we go. There's the focus. Nexus down to half HP, and they're just going for it. Impactful taking a bunch of pain. Lulu ulti, but he's gonna go down for his troubles. No! It's gonna be Altec falling down. The Jesse's still trying to get away from Yazuki, and that is the Nexus. Skyline 2-0ing Cloud9 Tempest. Wow.
Have to give credit to the team fights of Skyline, because both times we counted them out because they're losing early game, losing the turret game, and then they just bring it back in the team fights. Also, NK Inc. I'm pretty sure it was NK Inc.'s shot calling, but first he steals a Baron, then they get a pick and they call Jesse back to go for the second Baron, which leads to the roller coaster of inhibitors that they were able to roll.
And then the third one at the end too, leaving everyone there kind of just to look at them and pick that one down. Very well played by Skyline. Great result by these guys. And now, of course, that's tonight's best of 3. It's in our match history. It's been a great game. Let's take a look now at the updated challenger bracket. Thanks to their huge upset win tonight, the 8th-seeded Skyline advances to the semifinal round, where they're going to play the victor of Sunday night's battle between YSO Esports and the Chinese powerhouse LMQ.
And the bottom half of the bracket features next week's quarterfinal match on Saturday, February 1st. The spring promotion participants, Determined Gaming, take on Curse Academy. Then on Sunday, February 2nd, it's another team that came up short in the spring promo, Cognitive Gaming facing VVV Gaming White.
And of course, coming up tomorrow, we have more North American LCS action coming your way. Up first, it's ManCloud and XDG taking on Crepo and the Evil Geniuses. Our broadcast starts off noon Pacific, 2100 CET.
And remember, right after Dignitas and Counterlogic Gaming square off, it's our second North American Challenger Series quarterfinal, YSO Esports versus LMQ.
And of course, that does it now for us tonight with the Challenger broadcast. Thanks again to our friends at Coca-Cola. Now for myself, Kobe, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. Good night, and GG.